Hello. So last week we looked at a little bit of fixing, mixing, and this week I'm going to just have a bit of a play around in HISE. So HISE is an amazing open source system. Years ago when I did contact instruments, I taught myself contact scripting using a lot of the stuff made by a guy called David Healey, and he ran a contact KSP scripting course. I'd never done any coding before, and then he moved over to using HISE. And the benefit of using HISE is that you can create plugins, standalone plugins. And I've taught myself this over the last 4 years. So this is what HISE looks like when you open up. You've got a scripting window, you've got your interface builder, you've got parameters and stuff. I've not got anything in here yet, so I've not actually built anything. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the interface be, I don't know, 1,000 pixels wide. Yeah, that'll probably be alright. Add one. Back. Might not actually be big enough. Go 1,664. So I can do that in here. So my magitone colours. There we go. I'm going to save this. I don't really know where to start with this drum instrument, so I'm going to just jot down a few thoughts. Down the bottom, we get tooltips. Right, so I'm thinking, okay, so then on this front page, so I think down the bottom, I want to have some kind of like delineation of the pages. So maybe this will be like a kind of quick overview. I don't know, I need to come up with a better name. So there's going to need to be a MIDI page. Going to need some kind of preset thing at the top. Maybe we'll call presets kits. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. So we've got that. It would be quite nice then to have kind of like overview channels. So maybe stuff like kind of like Drink It Zenith, where we have like maybe a fader. We'll call this one close. Overheads, rooms, effects. I guess we'll pop the big knob like Drink It Zenith on there. Alright, so that's where I'm at, page one. Probably would be good to have some sort of like mix bus kind of thing here. We need direct outs. On these little pads, I want a play button like that, so you can audition it. I also want, might be making it complicated. Alright, never mind. Everything has 5 notes each. So when you think of an electronic kit, you think of like an electronic cymbal. It's not just one note, there's several. There's the bell, that's one note. There's the top of the cymbal, that's another note. There's the edge of the cymbal, that's a third note. And if we think of the toms, we've got the tom and we've got the rim as well. So that's 2 notes per tom. So that audition is going to be on the sort of fundamental. Then we're going to have an extra performance around that. I need to decide what those are. Yeah, and then like stuff like snare drum, I want to have 5 because you're going to have snare on, rim shot, snare off, click, side click thing, you know. So helpfully, I've just done 2 hours of work and I was recording it with OBS, and OBS just decided to not record my screen. Such is life, but you've missed out on some bits and bobs. So I'm going to do a recap of what happened in that last little bit. What I've done is I've put in some simple gain, which is how you control, essentially how you control levels. So, and let me just get rid of this. We'll come on to this in a second. So here's what we're looking at the minute. We've got this thing. So the mic groups, we're going to have close, overhead, rooms, and effects. This is going to be the master section. I'm going to put like a stuff that I normally use for my mastering chain, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm essentially just going to make my own sort of plug-in versions of what I do when I master stuff, and that will be in there, which will be kind of fun. So we've got that. Haven't done anything that will have the big sort of knob thing and the metering similar to DreamKit Zenith. Then these are each going to have a play button so you can audition, a MIDI button so you can go to the perform page there. It's not doing anything yet. I might put a knob in the middle, and that will be like a kind of global volume control. Haven't quite decided that yet, but I might do. I haven't quite thought that through, but it might be quite handy if you could sort of dial back, do a quick sort of rough balance of all of the mics from this front page, so everything's sort of on there. And then clicking into the next thing, this panel, hang on, we'll put it back where it's meant to be. I haven't done any coding yet. And then this panel, if you press like an instrument, so this is going to be the individual mic, so that's going to be these mics here. So this is going to be the kick one sampler. So there's going to be obviously 16 samplers in this. I don't know. We'll see if that makes everything go a bit mental. Hopefully not, because it would be awesome if it didn't. And then we've got the kick drum. That's going to be like a preset menu that will tell you a little bit of information about the drum, the microphones used. Performance will be stuff like the velocity controls. Also, I'm going to do like a round robin freeze, because sometimes you just want it to sound like it's programmed, and that will do that. Transient will be just an envelope shaper, mixed groups. Now you'll notice that there's 10 tracks here, but this black window behind it is going to remain the same size regardless of channels. So say for example, when I update truck drums, there's only, three, hang on a minute, I think there's only 2 mics on that. There's an overhead and there's a close mic. That fader, you'll just have 2 faders basically. And then I guess like on here I need to have sort of knobs that will be like effects send. Maybe we'll do the same from here. I don't know. Maybe there needs to be an effects window where we can change stuff. Don't know. Still got to work this out. Right, so the next thing that I've got to figure out now, also like none of the look and feel is set, so all of the knobs are just like the stock knobs. I'm going to I've coded all of the knobs and stuff. I'm just not bringing those in yet. That's for further down the road. Nothing's labelled. One of the things that I did quite like, I'll move this out of the way so you can see it, is I've linked the mic group there. See that? Can you see that? There we go. So those 2 things are linked together. So if you're diving in on the kick drum and you're like, oh, the overheads are a bit loud, you can bring them all down, or the close mics, for example, are a bit loud, you can bring them all down here. But also, crucially, if you turn them up again here on the main page, it will turn them up. I don't know if that's going to be useful. It might be. We'll see. My next thing is I'm going to go into Reaper. I'm going to grab all of the samples for one instrument, the kick drum, and we're going to make the kick drum, and we're going to see how it works and just get an idea and a feel for that. That's the next sort of job. I'm not doing that today though. It looks pretty good though, doesn't it? So this is going to be like the close, just like the D25, FET 47, overhead 1, overhead 2, mono overhead, close room, far room, mono room, burst. And that's going to be pretty much the same. So this sort of layout will be copied. The hi-hat cymbals, 1 less mic, didn't top and bottom mic a hi-hat. That would be insane. But it means I can add more mics, I can take mics away, I've got lots of flexibility. As long as all of those mics are able to feed into like close, overhead, room, and effects, it means that I can sort of do anything. I'm really into it. I'm going to get all of this sort of situated. But I think I quite like the look of it. But this might change. This might change completely. 100%. There we go. That's development.